Hello, everybody on the C.O.G.S live stream. I am Dr. Philip Robert La Porta, PhD in physics, co-host of the Whip Around podcast. Go to thewhiparoundpodcast.com. But relevant to today, I think most of you know me as an amateur mixologist, and some of you know me as a contributor to the upcoming bar book sequel to the Necronom Nom 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 Nom. I wish I was there with you all today in person, hanging out, having fun, drinking tea, drinking cocktails, and teaching you fine folks about spirits. But hey, it's a different world than it was last year at this time. But the nice thing is, even though we're all not together, we are actually getting one of the first really nice, really warm weekends of the year for most of us that live in this sort of general hemisphere. I'm out here in Pennsylvania. And so I thought to myself, what better to do than to show everybody a nice, refreshing cocktail. However, if like me, you're in Pennsylvania, you can't get alcohol very easily anymore. We're not, not essential drinking, which I think is a shame, but that's beside the point. So I had to find a simple one booze cocktail I wanted to give you guys that you could do at home. Nice and easy. So if you're in quarantine and you don't have a lot of resources, this is the drink to make today while you enjoy the rest of the STEAMpunk event. So, what I want to make is a Bee's Knees, which is a Prohibition-era cocktail. It's a simple 3-ingredient cocktail, and I'm going to show you an upgrade. So, all you need is gin, lemon juice, and the cocktail calls for honey. However, if you've ever tried to squeeze honey from a bear, you know it doesn't come out fast. And also, if you've ever poured honey on ice, you know it's just going to freeze there. It's not going to mix well. So, before you mix this cocktail, you need to mix honey syrup. There are 2 ways to do this. The easiest way is to take equal parts warm water and honey and just put them in a jar and shake. I prefer to do this over stovetop, equal parts honey and water in a saucepan. Let it come to a simmer. Keep stirring, everything will dissolve. And once that's done, what you end up is with some nice, clear, and easily pourable, way less viscous honey syrup. Put it in a bottle. It'll keep in your fridge for a while or until you use it. So once you've got that done, let's make the cocktail. Here's the simple bit. First, you need some ice. So you get some nice ice cubes in your shaker. You're going to take 2 ounces of gin, preferably a London Dry, because we're going to add sweetness with the honey syrup. But, hey, desperate times, whatever gin you have, you go with. We've got 3/4 of an ounce of lemon juice. I will tell you this, if you squeeze out 3/4 of an ounce of fresh squeezed, make it with that, and 3/4 of an ounce of the bottle, you're going to taste the difference. The fresh squeeze is going to be better, but once again, desperate times in a quarantine, desperate measuring cups. And then finally, 3/4 of an ounce of all that honey syrup that you just made. Now, if you were in my cocktail class last year, I gave you this cocktail and people freaked out that this gin that they tasted straight tasted so good in this cocktail. And if you're saying to yourself and looking at those notes going, wait a minute, he has one more ingredient. I do. Last year, I used lavender bitters, and to give a nice little floral flair to it. It's not strictly necessary in the cocktail, but if you can get your hands on lavender bitters, either through kegworks.com or other bar sites or other places, 3 dashes of that in the shaker is going to be great. However, if you want that little floral note to the cocktail but don't have lavender bitters, it's easy. First thing, get yourself a jar. Once you got yourself a jar, take, 2 ounces of your favorite gin, or of course you can scale this up, and then get some lavender from your garden. If you get a couple sprigs of lavender, put a cap on that thing. Eventually it fits. Shake it up and put it to the side for, I don't know, a couple days, or even a couple hours. Well, truth of the matter is it's a fresh, herbaceous ingredient. It should infuse into the gin in maybe about an hour, day tops. Otherwise, you're going to start to extract weird flavors you don't want. From here, it's just a shake. And shaking is important for a couple reasons. There is a 4th ingredient here, even without the bitters, and it's water. Everybody forgets that the 4th ingredient in most cocktails, or the extra ingredient, is the dilution. If you have large chunks of ice, 15 seconds of shaking is good. If you're working with smaller pieces of ice, shake less because there's more surface area. It'll dilute faster. See, that PhD in physics comes in handy. If you're working with a shaker like this, it does have a strainer in the top. However, I like this to come out and nice and smooth. So I like to double strain my cocktail to make sure I'm removing any bits of ice. And if you are infusing that gin with the lavender, you're going to want to strain out any little lavendery bits. And right there is about it. You've got yourself a bee's knees cocktail. And the first thing you're going to get is that lemon on the nose and the lavender if you've put it in there. You're getting the herbaceousness of the gin, but it's not overpowering because the lemon juice, the tartness there, is balancing it out and cutting that astringency. And you're getting this wonderful sweetness from the honey syrup. So, I mean, it's a simple cocktail. Again, 3 ingredients, 4 for a bonus, or if you want to infuse. And by the way, pro tip for those of you stuck in quarantine and getting bored of just plain vodka, take a little jar, put some vodka in it, put rosemary in it, put basil in it. You can put lemon peels in it and sweeten it and change the flavor so that way you get some variety of cocktails while you're stuck at home with the rest of us. So basically that's everything. I know I'm going to be live with you guys on Sunday. I'm going to bring more simple cocktails for you and more upgrades to those simple cocktails. And with any luck, if we've got time in that simple cocktail stream, I'll take questions. Tell me what's in your bar. I'll make you a drink with whatever you have left. It's like Iron Chef for, you know, people who know how to make drinks. I think it'll be a fun time. So please come and join me. And until then, enjoy the rest of the STEAMpunk event, and may your crogs never rust. That's good.